welcome to another Disney cost breakdown video. We recently went on a super quick birthday trip to Disneyland Paris. We were there for 2 days. We stayed in Paris off property and we flew from London Heathrow to Paris. We spent 1 day in each park and we also vlogged our trip. So if you haven't already checked that out, then please do go watch that. It's already on our channel. But today I'm breaking down exactly what we spent. So we're going to cover travel, the flights, the food, the hotels, the park tickets. So if you're planning your own Disney trip or you're just curious about how much it costs to go to Disneyland Paris, then this is the video for you. I'm also going to share some pros and cons and tips along the way, so please do keep watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and if you're new here, I am Rachel and I like to vlog our Disney park trips. And so yeah, if that sounds up your street, please do subscribe. But let's roll. So the currency in France is euros, but for the purpose of this video, I have converted everything to Great British pounds. And for reference, these costs are for June 2025. So I've got all of my categories and costs. So we're going to start with travel. So we flew to Disneyland Paris from London Heathrow with British Airways. This was the first time we've flown into Paris. We normally get the Eurostar, but me and Megan have British Airways American Express cards, so we had a companion voucher to use, which meant that our flight only cost us £2, which is crazy. We wouldn't normally use our companion voucher for a trip to Paris. We'd normally save them for US trips, but we had a deadline we needed to meet, so we thought, why not use it for Paris? Just to compare prices, flying without a companion voucher for the two of us to return would have been £240, and the Eurostar, which we've been before, we would normally take that route, was about £200 a return trip. So if we wouldn't have had the companion voucher, we definitely would have taken the train, especially because we're only an hour out from London. So the train is definitely more convenient for us, but like I said, we wanted to make sure we didn't waste our companion voucher or lose the voucher, so we flew. Even though we did save money by using our companion voucher, going to the airport did occur some other costs, such as the parking, which set us back £53.80. That was for 1 night at Heathrow Airport parking. We use them all the time when we go to Heathrow, so no complaints there. It's a little bit pricey, but we have used other car parking in the past that was just a terrible experience, so we just think it's worth paying a bit more to use that one that we've only had good experiences from. Also, because of the time of our flight, we needed to book a hotel the night before because it was so early in the morning and we don't live that close to Heathrow. It took us about 2.5 hours to get to Heathrow and we didn't want to maybe gamble with the traffic, so we stayed at a hotel nearby the night before, and for 1 night for a twin room cost us £78.30 plus £15 for parking. So once you add it all together, I'm not actually sure we saved that much money by flying. But girl math at the time, when we paid £2 for the flights, we thought we were winning. Once we arrived at Charles de Gaulle Airport, we had 2 options to get us to Disneyland Paris. Option 1 was an Uber, and option 2 was the high-speed Inouï trains that take you to the train station at Disneyland Paris. We did want to get the train because the train only takes around 10 to 15 minutes, whereas the Uber takes around 55 minutes, but we just missed the train and the train was over an hour for the next one, so we decided to just get an Uber because it was cheaper. So the Uber cost us £35 and obviously meant that we got to Disneyland Paris a little bit earlier. We did get the train on the way back though, which was super quick, so it would have been a great option if we didn't miss it on the way there. The train back was £48.60 for 2 tickets in first class. The first class was only €2 more than standard class. So we did that to guarantee a seat, and like I said, it was an Inouï train. You just get it from the main train station at Disneyland Paris. And while we were in Disneyland Paris, we stayed off property, so to get back and forth from the hotel, we just used Ubers, and it was around $10 to $11 per trip, so the total cost for Ubers was £42.62. So as per usual, we booked our park tickets through attractiontickets.com, and we got 2 tickets that were 1 park per 1 day. So we did Disneyland Park on day 1 and then Walt Disney Studios Park on day 2. It was definitely cheaper to do it that way. The park hopper tickets are more expensive. Obviously, you don't get the flexibility in doing that though, so if one ride had gone down, it meant that we couldn't have ridden it the next day if it opened back up. But we knew that we wanted to dedicate one day to each park, so that was the best option for us. We booked 2 Lightning Lane options for this trip. The first one we pre-booked before we got there, and that was the Premier Pass reserved viewing area for the fireworks, and honestly that was incredible. I think that was the highlight of the trip for me. It's basically a roped off area in front of the castle, and it was super spacious. We got there about 25 minutes before the fireworks started, and I don't like crowds. I get quite anxious around crowds, so that felt so much better to be in like a spacious area. It cost £40.66 for 2 people, and like I said, we pre-booked that as soon as we booked our trip, and you do that via the Disneyland Paris app. But yeah, it was absolutely worth it. The view of the fireworks is insane. It's the best view I've ever had for a fireworks show. And also it was just amazing because it was my birthday and there was a new fireworks show. It was the Disney Tales of Magic. I actually do have a separate video which is of the whole fireworks show if you want to check that out, and you'll see the view in much more detail there. But I would recommend buying this literally as soon as you can, because they sell out super fast. Me and Megan have another Disneyland Paris trip coming up and we can't get the tickets for the date that we're going because they're already sold out. So yeah, if you can get them, they are honestly amazing and so worth the money. The second one was for Crush's Coaster on day 2, and that also cost £40.66, but that was for 3 people, as our friend Ashley also came with us, so about £13.55 each. That one we had to book in the app on the day when we were in the park. You can't pre-book that one. We did that because the queue for Crushers was over 2 hours by the time we got into the park. That one's always a really long wait time for that one, so I definitely either recommend queuing for that ride first thing, a rope drop if you have early entry, or buying a Lightning Lane for it because, like I said, the queues are always really insane for that ride. Just a quick one, while we were there, we used the luggage storage that's available at Disneyland Paris. It's situated just on the right hand side of, as you look directly at the Disneyland Park Hotel, it's on the right hand side, and I think it's called guest storage or luggage storage, but super easy to use. The cost for 2 days was $37.28, and honestly totally worth it, especially if you're staying on site. It saved us going back and forth, which meant more park time. Definitely recommend using it again. Luggage service is very good. So for the hotel, this was the first time that we've stayed off property. We normally hotel Cheyenne girlies, but very expensive. So we went for a much cheaper option, and we stayed at the B&B Hotel, and one twin room was £91.60, and it was lovely, clean, spacious, comfy beds, and it's just a 10-minute Uber ride to the parks. We booked it through booking.com, and my sister is a Genius member because she travels a lot for work, so it does get a little bit of discount, you know, every little helps and all that. But yeah, we would definitely stay there again. Like I said, it was nice and clean and comfortable. It had an area for breakfast if you wanted to add the breakfast option on. We did not do that, but it's available if you want it. But yeah, we thought the B&B Hotel was amazing value. Obviously, the main trade-offs for not staying on property are you don't get the early entry, which normally is I think 30 minutes before non-hotel guests. And you also don't get the free shuttles. Like I said, we Ubered back and forth. But I do think with the money saved not staying on property, we did obviously still save a bunch of money. We, like I said, used the Ubers, and then because we didn't get early entry, we bought the Lightning Lane for Crush's Coaster, which is what we would have done during early entry. And honestly, yeah, 100% we'd stay at B&B again. If you're interested in staying there, the full room tour is on our Disneyland Paris mega vlog. I'll leave the timestamps below as well in the description. But yeah, honestly, really nice place to stay. I would definitely recommend if you wanted somewhere a lot cheaper than staying on property. So next up is food and drink, and normally this is my favourite topic to talk about, But if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't massively rate the food in Disneyland Paris. The food in, I think, Florida and California is just leaps and bounds better. I don't know if that's just because we're not eating in the right places, so if you have any recommendations, please do leave them in the comments below, because we really struggle to think of places to eat in Disneyland Paris. For the travel day, the night before, we just ate in McDonald's, and at the airport we had a Wagamama's, which was terrible. Whilst at Disney, we did eat at Five Guys in Disney Village. That is a perk that they have a Five Guys. Where else did we eat? Lucky Nugget, they had some quite nice crispy nuggets. That's in the park, that's kind of near Thunder Mountain. Oh, a couple of snacks we did love. My favourite was the chocolate covered marshmallows, just in one of the little stands outside Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. They were amazing. And Megan's favourite was the Mickey chocolate cornflake snack. That is in the confectionery on Main Street in Disneyland Park. So those two are our favourite. We ate a slice of pizza in Toy Story Land, but that was quite overpriced in my opinion. And yeah, on the last day for breakfast, we just grabbed some food from Pret. And again, ate at McDonald's in Disney Village. I feel like we kind of got a bit overwhelmed by all the new options in Disney Village. So yeah, if you have any recommendations, like I said, please do leave them below, because we lack inspiration or ideas of where to eat in Disneyland Paris. But the total food that we did buy was £194.44. So one of my biggest tips around drinks in Disneyland Paris is that you can't, or we can't, find anywhere that has milk inside the parks. So a few of the kiosks do sell black tea, but they only have milk that is like the powdered milk inside the coffee machines. So if you ordered a coffee, it would come with milk, but you couldn't order a tea and ask for milk in your tea. So if you do want teas, a proper cup of tea, you're going to have to go to Starbucks or Pret in Disney Village, or Pret's near the train station, and you can take them through security and into the Disneyland parks. And that would be the same if you wanted like a strawberry acai. There's no Starbucks inside Disneyland, not like there is in Florida or California. So you're going to have to buy that in Disney Village, but unfortunately they're not the branded Disney Parks cups, they're just regular Starbucks cups. In my opinion, I think Disney really need to add a Starbucks into a park. Like they do it in America. I don't know if it's a Paris thing, but I feel like they really need it, because my favourite thing in Disney is to walk around the park with a strawberry acai lemonade with the Disney Parks and my name on it. I need that. One thing that is unique to Paris though is that they do have a champagne cart down the bottom of Main Street. So that is quite cool, and they are branded champagne flutes. So maybe Paris claws it back with that. Right, finally we're going to talk merchandise. We were actually pretty restrained this trip. I don't know if it was because we only travelled with hand luggage, so we kind of thought how are we going to carry it back? But what I did get was a tie-dye Mickey t-shirt, which I'm still super obsessed with. It's like a navy blue and white tie-dye baby tee. And Megan got a Baymax t-shirt, and those two came to £60.99. And I also got a Pandora charm, which was £61.88. It's like a little Mickey balloons. I thought it'd be cute because I kind of went for my birthday. They sold it in the jewellery store on Main Street. And that brings that total to £122.87, which honestly is pretty good for Disney shopping. So we've gone through all of the categories now. So like I said, I've converted it all into Great British Pounds. So that is £270.32 on travel, £273.38 on park tickets, £81.32 on lightning lanes. We've got £91.60 on the hotel, £37.28 on luggage storage, £194.44 on food and drink, and £122.87 on merchandise. So that brings our grand total for 2 adults to fly to Disneyland Paris for 2 days, visit 2 parks in early June 2025 was, drumroll please, £1,076.21. I'm not gonna lie, I did not think we would spend that much because, like I said, girl math, we got our flights for £2. I thought, we're on a winner. I thought it was going to be so cheap, but over £500 each for a 2-day trip is pretty expensive, I think. I mean, it's Disney though, so I'm absolutely not surprised. One thing I would say is next time we're definitely going to get the Eurostar. We definitely are because we booked the Eurostar, and it's just more convenient now that we've done flying and train and team train. Please bring back the direct train. I'm begging you, please bring it back. I am proud of us for not going mad on merchandise. That's normally, food and drink and merchandise are normally the big number items for us. But like I said, I'm not a massive fan of the Paris food, which is probably a good thing for my bank account. Also with the merch, I feel like we were stressed about maybe how we would take it home. But staying off property, I would do that again. That was amazing and really cheap. And also because we weren't at the hotel for hardly any time, it didn't matter. One thing I do love about Hotel Cheyenne, like I mentioned about the food and drink thing, is we love that it has a Starbucks. There's just something about waking up in like a woody themed room, going out onto the ranch, going to get your cup of tea, going to the parks. But it was a lot cheaper to stay off. Obviously, when you do stay off property, you're not in that Disney bubble. So that's one thing you are missing out of by not staying on property. And obviously I do love just that Disney safe bubble of like you leave the parks, you can either walk to the hotels or you can get the free shuttle buses and you're still in that theming. The absolute dream is obviously to stay at the Disneyland Paris Hotel. It's definitely on our Disney bucket list. We always like, we call it Disney pottering, where you just like price up random Disney holidays. And we always like to price up how much it would stay. A girl can dream. And a girl will keep dreaming to stay at the Disneyland Paris Hotel one day. But that is a wrap on what we spent on our 2-day Disney trip. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of costs, or if you're just nosy like I am. If you found this helpful, please do give it a thumbs up or leave any comments below. Please do subscribe because we do have another Disney trip coming up and another vlog series. We're going to go to New York. So if any of those take your fancy, please do subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!